Like, you gotta think about this. You gotta look at a person like, this is important, I always highlight it. You gotta look at a person like Bucky, right? Bucky took an iPhone, figured out how to zoom in, zoom out, started a whole media company in Jackson State, just shooting like, I'm talking about getting an unbelievable, I don't know how he was doing it with just one phone, it was just him. He get unbelievable, he never missed the big plays, the big moments. He all over the field, the whole game with a phone like this. And I said, Bucky, man, I said, you gotta, I think he was talking about, yo, man, I said, people want to see that shit, Bucky. He wound up starting his YouTube. Next thing you know, he was getting mad. He hit me up one time. He said, you ain't gonna believe this, how much money I made this month. He made like $150,000 in 1 month, a YouTube check. I'm like, damn. And then next thing you know, he called me.
He was getting money.
Next thing you know,
y'all need something?
He called me. Then he called me.
You know, I got my other brother right here too. Oh, yeah. Junior, stand up. Yeah. He does all our social media, so all the stuff you've been seeing, that's him. 100 mil, I need it. The glory, I need it. I took L's but walked around like I was undefeated. I saw no results, I still woke up and chased them. They told me to find myself, instead I want to find a way.
Everybody got on jury. Even the baby got a little something. We ready now.
There you go.
We're just talking about you. We're heading to Dallas tomorrow, though. I was just bragging about it. Congrats, man.
What's
up,
man? You been up here working?
Yo, what up?
Shallow been here?
Yeah, Shallow been, but it been 2 days.
Yeah. He said
Shallow been up here. He said, just let my dad know now. I've been up here.
So you been put it on him.
Oh, I ain't playing at all.
When I told him he got to train his body for 5:30, I said, Shallow, you got to wake up at 5:30. Because you got to be there at 6.
And that time on that 7, I mean, we 2 hours different.
Yeah, but I told him. I said, you got to start training your body. You can't just...
Yeah.
I just thought you were fishing. How many did you do this?
I got to work, dude.
Oh, I know.
I get the last lap.
She's fine. Oh, all right. I'm like, dang.
Oh, Lord. You're going to get this, huh?
Dog, give me that walking. Hey, dog, what's up, baby? Give me that walking. What's up, fella? What's up, man? You good?
You got a class.
Do you?
Teach your class on Tuesday.
Oh, that's right.
They get there to teach you.
It's always on Tuesday?
Mm-hmm. All right. I'll see y'all. All right, Big Lean.
Man, you can get it in. Yeah.
What's up, Rod?
What's up, man?
This is crazy. I love these motherfuckers.
He said I'm crippled.
What's up?
Yeah, Fred.
What's up, Bo?
No, man, how you doing?
What?
I was actually coming to just sit in too. How you doing? Good to see you. What up, Buggy?
What's up, man?
Hey, living, man. You good?
All right, yes, sir. How's it going?
I see. You don't work? You don't have German commands? No, that don't work.
doesn't like the.
I like it though.
Hey, man. Right here, cuz.
Good Christians.
Oh man. Great. Let's go in here so you can meet the guys.
Yeah, sure. Absolutely.
I don't have to eat.
These are your two hosts today.
Excellent.
Gillie and Wallo.
Hi. Gillie. I'm Rick Stevens.
Hey, Rick Stevens. How you doing, man? Wallo.
Nice.
Yes. So, you know, a little bit about their story and how they got to be where they are. It was really fascinating. They're two guys that put it down. They ain't no joke. These two the best in the business, man.
Excellent.
So it's a fascinating story, but they used to this. They've spoken everywhere in the country. They used to. As a matter of fact, they go in and speak in Pittsburgh when they leave here.
Awesome.
Which is ironic.
Well, I actually got their names up on the title slide. We can do this however you want, but I thought maybe we would just center them and talk, and if you want to introduce them and turn them loose. Yeah.
And we'll go from there.
Yeah, man.
Good day, everybody. Good day. Good day. Good day. How we doing? Got my guys with me today.
Good day, everybody.
How's it going?
I'm taking the back seat today. I'm gonna sit back in the back and try to chill. I may sit on the side, but I'm gonna let my dear friends, dear friends, I'm not saying friends, we use the word loosely. I would think these are my brothers, like these dudes here, that they can call me at any time and I'm coming. And I know I can call them anytime they're on their way. So when I told them about the opportunity to talk to you all about their journey, their plight, and I want you to ask real tough questions because their story is unbelievable. Their stories are unbelievable. Their relatives, they're going to explain all that to you. But with no further ado, and they're two cameramen, which are some of the best in the business that are unbelievable. And they always have opportunities. So make sure, while you're talking, sell yourself. Sell yourself. You never know, because they're going to tell you they're into everything. They got their hands on the pulse of everything. And he's not just wearing his hat, that's their company. So these guys ain't no joke. So with no further ado, Gillie and Wallo. And you know this joker here.
Yeah.
One that looks like me a little bit.
It's cool to talk to y'all about, our journey and marketing and promotion and things of that nature. I used to be a rapper, signed to many record labels back in the day, and it didn't kind of go how I wanted it to go. But I kept it going. This is my cousin. He went to jail at 17 years old. He came home at 37. He's now been home for 8 years. He's a culture advisor at YouTube. What else? What else do you do, man?
Bunch of shit.
Bunch of things. Bunch of things. And we have a podcast called $1 Million Worth of Game. One of the biggest podcasts in the world. We interview everybody from Mike Tyson, Coach Prime, Floyd Mayweather, Young Thug, Lil Durk, Dave Portnoy, you can name it. And it's moving at an exponential rate. And we really put a lot into it. Our podcast is based around giving game to the youth. And game for us is guidance, attention, motivation, and education. Where we come from is rough. The streets of Philadelphia is rough, so we try to give the youth game to keep them out of the penitentiary, keep them out of the graveyards, let them know that if they direct their energy into something positive, you can get better results. So we're owners of this hat called Noggin Boss, which you see on plenty college campuses and NASCAR events. And so we just try to create a brand and build as many companies as possible.
One thing about this game of life, you gotta pop it. You gotta know how to pop it. Some people gonna sit around, some people ain't gonna make it because they just don't have it. That's the reality of it. And we try to force people to have something that they naturally don't have. They used to see some people, no education, no nothing, it's the passion in them. It's just that survival skills in them. Me, myself, I look at this thing like you got God, then you got marketing. Everything that you know is marketed to you. the religion that you follow, how to eat, who not to like, who to love, where you come, everything that you know was marketed to you. So you got God, then you got marketing right there. Before family, before everything. Everything is marketed to you. Your attitude, the way you want to look, the way you want to wear your hair, what coffee you want to drink, what car you want to drive, what type of mattress you want, what type of panties you going to wear. Everything was marketed to you. Marketing is extremely important in this world. Every minute is marketing going on. Billions and billions and billions and billions of dollars is spent in marketing. So if you're in media, everything is about the look is the hook. How do you catch? You got to catch immediately. The attention span is this. It's like this. Everything got to be nanosecond messaging. If it ain't nanosecond, you're done. You're going to lose somebody. Because you get on your phone, right? Most things is on here. You get on your phone, you go to look, somebody see you something. When they see you something, email, text, social media, everything popping up. Because you got all your tabs, everything coming. So it got to grab you. And when it grab you, you know you got some good shit. That's when you know you really on it. So you got to be able to find your position in this world that you say you in. See, a lot of people say, like, if I ask people in here, what do everybody want to do in here? Sports media? Is everybody here for sports media? No. What you here for?
Sports media, but not everybody is.
I'm here for sports. I want to be in the sports industry.
What's your? Who not here for sports? Raise your hand. What you here for?
Data analysis.
Data analysis. What you here for?
Social media.
Social media. Okay. What you here for?
Somewhere in sports.
But the name of the game is know your strengths, respect your weaknesses. Know your strengths, align with your weaknesses. Know your strengths and hire your weaknesses. That's how teams work. People be trying to figure this out. I don't know how to edit, I don't know how to shoot, but my guys do. It's just certain things I don't know.
And what does team mean?
Team means together each achieve more. That's what team, because teamwork make the dream work. See, it ain't no such thing as me. No, you got to figure this shit out. And the person that might win here, you might don't know how to work no camera, you might don't know. You just know how to put a team together. There's somebody in here that know how to put a team together and know how to delegate. They're gonna get in sports. And then you gotta be open-minded. You can't be like, see, because what happened is sometimes we don't have a pivot game. We'll be so in love with something and we'll hold it. It's like life and life. You see how people some of y'all parents, they held on to the marriage too fucking long. He was like, Mom, you been not liking Dad. Dad, you been not liking Mom. What the fuck is y'all doing? This shit been going on for 20 years. I'm old enough to know y'all been bullshit. When I was in high school, I knew y'all didn't like each other. I'm just saying, you know what I mean? But we hold on to shit. No, seriously. You fucking crazy, don't worry about that. We hold on to shit so long, in this day and time, we can't. We gotta pivot. Because one bad friendship, one bad relationship could set you back 5-10 years. How you gotta recover, you gotta get your mind back, you gotta get all this shit back together because you wasted time and energy. So you gotta know how to pivot. Some people might think, what's your favorite sport?
Football.
Football is your favorite sport. But soccer might be your home. They might got the opportunities there. That makes sense financially, it makes sense for your time, it just makes sense. You might fucking be Manchester United somewhere. So you gotta be willing to pivot and you can't fall in love with the ideas that you have. You gotta be always, it's sad, but you gotta be always willing to abandon some shit. I was interviewing Will Smith. I said, Will, how did you make it this long? Like, what was you doing? He said, I would lean in. He said, if I see something that interests me, I'll lean into it. And if it's going, I'll lean in some more. But if it's not, I can always lean back in and lean in another direction. So you got to know when to lean, where to go at. And you got to figure out, okay, what I'm going to be inside of these different sports departments. Like, what can I bring to the table that nobody else is doing? Like, who I'm looking to be in this field. Okay, what is he doing? Damn, I could make that better. I like what he's doing. I like that this dude is head of social media, but he the head of social media, he don't even fucking lead the office. He never even touched this shit before. He don't even really know this thing. You see what I'm saying? So you got to be able to look at everything and look at people that's already there and say, I got to outdo this person and figure out what they're doing. Study the people that you're trying to be. Don't sit back and say, oh, I'm just trying to. No, you got to study them motherfuckers. You really got to study people because you want to know, like, damn, I know, because you're thinking about now, you got to think about it. Okay, when I'm going to get out of school? When I get out of school, I might get a light opportunity just to be around this shit. How can I be able to scale once I get that opportunity and get inside of this facility? How can I scale? So you right now got to be able to strategize. You got to be able to write your strategy down and keep growing on it. You keep growing, but you keep informing yourself about what do the position look like that don't exist right now that you're going to go take. You're not looking for some shit that's already here. Because one thing about this world that we in now, I'm going to tell y'all some real shit. Y'all going to get into this, and most of the time the shot callers going to be some old person that is disconnected from the reality of technology and the reality of life. You just got to be able to paint the motherfucking picture. That's it. You got to be able to sell. You got to be able to say, yeah, y'all weak right here, y'all weak right here, y'all weak right here, y'all weak right there. Because most of these people is grandfathered in. They be having these fucking jobs for no reason. They don't even know what they're doing. You should be a certain age doing social media. You just should. Because every day it's a new platform coming out, and you'll go, if you look at some of these sports, just go study sports teams. Every different type of sport. And when you study them, just say, you know what, I'm going to take different sports and I'm going to go to different platforms and I'm going to see is they covered on all platforms. So now you're going up inside of the facility administration and say, y'all missing. Y'all not on Snapchat. Y'all not on this one. Y'all not on this one. Why y'all not here? Why y'all not here? This baseball, strong Latino audience, why you not on this? Why you not on this app? It's Latino. So you got to be strategic in this shit.
And then if you got the numbers to match it,
it's even better. So you got to be able to say to a sports franchise, y'all not doing this shit right. Let me come in here and do it. It need to be more. Like this shit got to be, it got to be bigger. Like what y'all not doing? Why y'all have fan engagement more? Why are you not doing giveaways so the fan get? What is y'all YouTube looking like? Because out of all these platforms, one of the most strongest platforms is YouTube because you can't finesse it. That's the hardest place to get subscribers. And if you get them on there, you build, that's a fucking network. You got a network, you got 1 million subscribers on there, you got a network, even 500,000. But how do you try to build the platforms up and create something that they don't already have? And you got to be creative in order to win the day. And you got to be, you can't be lazy. You know how people is quiet quitting out here. People on the job and they just quit, they go there just to show up and they ain't doing shit no more. And the thing is, your generation got a bad fucking rep out here. Y'all rep is shit. Like I'm talking about like horse manure. It's just fucked up to the point where as though everybody got y'all just being lazy. Right now in corporate America, more Gen Zs are getting fired like never before. They firing the shit out of them because nobody believe they supposed to work because everybody believe they're gonna miss something because they think they'd rather be home and playing the game on social media. Nobody want to work. So if you want to work and you hungry, you gonna kill a bunch of people. A bunch of fucking people.
Not literally.
You know what I'm talking about. You gonna kill a bunch of people. Like it's not gonna be like. So you really gotta just right now when you ain't got. I'm talking about. Give it 20 minutes a day. Everybody here grab a competition book. In 20 minutes a day, get on that laptop, do research, and document it, and write everything that you need to know about whatever format, whatever system, because systems win. What system is you going to bring to a franchise? What system is you going to bring to administration? It could be a university, it could be anywhere. Everybody got these slots open. I'm talking about, so when you think about sports, when I hear sports, I'm thinking about all that. I'm thinking about all types of shit. And sometimes you got to apply, I know we had these aspirations of, damn, I want to go to the big, Write the top universities down and write the ones that's just doing shit. They need the help the most. People always try to say, damn, I want to go work for Apple, I want to go work for, there's a lot of different phone companies you might go work for, or technology companies. Why you go work for, Beats by Dre. What about Skull Candy? Ain't nobody talking about them. So when you're looking at, different, think about this shit. Coach Brown came here. They was hurting now. Colorado they was getting the wheel together. They had the wheel and everything together. They had the funeral arrangements and all. They had the flower. They had everything paid for already. He came here and look. Look what happened, because he brought value to here. And it was somebody here that was able to say, we need this energy. But they didn't just bring Prime before his coaching and his football knowledge. They brought him for that media. They could bring him for the media he bring. He bring media. You know, so that's what it's about. And you gotta know how to put teams together. Like this team shit, I know y'all be like, damn, no. You gotta know how to get that cameraman that's a beast. You gotta know how to get that editor that's gonna turn that shit around right now. You go find that guy, all he do is eat cold pizza, he ain't got no girlfriend. And he got
that guy's married, man.
I'm not talking about that. You know what I'm saying?
Sure do like cold pizza.
He like cold pizza live by himself. You know what I mean? You find that guy that just, you think he like, this guy ain't got shit going on. He eat cold pizza, you call him 2 in the morning, I'm editing now. He turning that shit around.
Because that's what he loves to do.
He turning that shit.
It's different. It's a lot of people that be behind the camera, but they just know how to do it, but they don't really love it. Mm-hmm. You gotta understand, when we talking about pivoting, this guy in the back, Sean, who works for us, his grandfather, great-grandfather, was the first ball boy for the Eagles. And it's like a family tradition. His whole family has worked for the Eagles. They just did a 50-year reunion for his father, his brothers down there, and he was down there. And then we came to him, and he said, I'm ready to pivot. I really love film. I love being down at the games, I love being on the field, but this is my passion. These things was my grandfather's passion, my brothers, big Eagle fans, and he pivoted.
But it wasn't that simple. He was collecting the jock straps in the Eagles locker room. So it was a dirty job. It was like we was saving him. It was like, save me. Like he was collecting all the joints. I'm like, did you have gloves on? He said sometimes I was rushing. So it was wild. You know what I mean? But the whole idea, I get what he's saying. Like you gotta find people, right? He's an idiot. You gotta find people that love this shit. Like they gotta love it. And you gotta be a good, like, you guys gotta be a coach. Find a person, the camera guys, okay, they go my camera guys. They go my editors right here. They go my graphic person. This is like me, I take the Cleveland Indians, right? I go, Browns. I go to them and say, listen, this is what I'm gonna do. I see on your profile, you're not highlighting the athletes enough. So what we're gonna do, I'm gonna have my cameraman during the season. Every week we're gonna highlight 3 different athletes. So we get a nice highlight reel on the page of them. They can put it on their page, we're gonna do a collaboration post. They can put it on their page, we're gonna put it on our page, and we're gonna get them traction. And make it better, you know what I mean? And then we're gonna have the super fans. We're gonna have, clips of super fans on our social media. Nobody thinking about no shit like that. And when we had the super fans, we're gonna have the super fan clip collaborate with one of our star players. They're gonna collaborate so they can be on the post. Now fans, fans love that shit. So you gotta bring new ideas, always new ideas. The only way you will get new ideas if you're doing your fucking research. People do not do no research. They going into meetings, everybody want to go into Zoom, but all right, did you do all the research necessary to be able to say, I know everything that I need to know. I know everything about this shit. I know everything about this team. Listen, you got to be the person that's like this. You got to find the holes and fill them, motherfuckers. Look at teams. Now when you leave here, go study. Just I'm talking about whatever sports you want to, soccer, whatever, and be like, what they doing wrong? Look at their social media.
The Roman swipes, Amsterdam vodka. So, and the list go on and on. So. Knowing the information before you go in is key. If we dealing with Barstool, we going into a negotiated deal with Barstool, we understand that Barstool operates off of ad dollars. So this is an ad game. Okay, now we going over to talk to Amazon. Or they want to give us some money. But we understand that Amazon don't give a fuck about ad dollars. We have a community of people that they want. So the conversations is different. So it's always good when you know what you're up against and we go in to talk to Spotify. They want to own everything. They just want to give you a big check and say, don't worry about how much money.
And then they want to take you off YouTube. They want you to be on YouTube.
Then they want to take you off YouTube. They just want you solely on Spotify, and you do ads, and you never know how much money you made, but they pay you pretty good to not know. You know what I'm saying? So when you know what you're up against, it's that much better for you when you're going into these places to talk to business. Because how we talk to Amazon is not how we talk to Barstool. And how we talk to Amazon and Barstool is not how we talk to Spotify. And how we talk to those three is not how we talk to Fanatics. So it's just the more information that you know, the better position you're in.
And you gotta learn how to sell, because once you see the holes and you can sell, you know, how many of y'all on Facebook, like just use Facebook every day? How many? Not that many, right? There's like 3 of y'all. Facebook got more, they got 3 billion users on there. Go study Facebook and learn how you can get these, like everybody just thinking Instagram because it's cool, but what about all the people on Facebook? And then you gotta study the different demographics is on here. What races is on here, with the age range. You need all your stats so you can be able to sell and lean. Because if I'm trying to sell, like who is the ticket holder? Who buy the most tickets? So now I gotta go find an audience that's gonna buy tickets. And how do we say, okay, we need to send ads to these people. You get your Facebook ads set up, and we need to send them to this people. Facebook got 3 billion. YouTube got 2.53 billion. Instagram got 2 billion. WhatsApp got 2 billion. TikTok got 1.69 billion. WeChat got 1.37 billion. Telegram 950 million. Facebook Messenger 937 million. Snapchat 850 million. You do the math. So now you take them numbers, but you go and see who is the most active users on these platforms. You build your sheet. Like that board, you're supposed to have your own board. Like I'm talking about this the board right here. And figure out, let me break this down, because once you get all your numbers and you just stay up on your numbers, now you got a real presentation when you walk in there and you know this shit off, and you're like, damn, we didn't even know that. Why are we not on Facebook? Like, isn't this an older audience that watch baseball or coming? Why are we not advertising there? Why are we not putting more videos up on there? Like, you can embed it. You can have it going from YouTube, embed it on Facebook, and have the count going. Like, why are we not doing that shit? Like, you got to think of shit that nobody else is thinking about, because everybody want more. They want more eyes. This shit is about 2 things in life. It's about eyes and money. Let's be real. It's about eyes and money. The game that we in now is about how many eyes can you get on this shit. Because the more eyes you can get on here, the more money we can get. The more advertising dollars. Because now I go to the advertiser and say, oh, well, you know, we got this much traffic on our social media. You know, you got this. We can do this. Like, that's all it's about. You think all them fucking logos on them just magically popped up on that football field for no reason? They said, holy shit. Everybody watching this game, stay for it. Everybody start calling. No, straight up eyebrows. The Jake popped up. You know what I mean? Hey, I'm Jake. You know what I mean? So what I'm saying is, think about this shit. Eyeballs equals dollars. Engagement, movement equals dollars. The comments, the likes, like, okay. And once you do the research, what age engage the most? What age just watch? What age buy more? All this data is out there. Like you said, you're gonna be a data analyst, right? You is in the game of whereas though the stuff you can get, you can go crazy with that shit. You know what I'm saying? Because that's like if you represent the school or you represent the saying, we get this total many eyeballs from all our sports, all our stuff, boom, boom, boom. So now ad dollars gonna get crazy. So that's what you gotta learn, but you gotta really like, at the end of the day, I think this shit really is about studying, man. And like really locking in and mastering your craft and saying, you know, cause in the big fields, in the big leagues, they know who love it and who just playing for a check. And if you playing for a check, somebody gonna see that shit. They gonna see you and they gonna get you out the way. They're like, oh, let me get it. They don't know what the fuck they doing. Cause you know, you got, but then again, we be living in a world where nobody wanna work, so it's gonna get scary. So more opportunities gonna come for y'all as years go, cause more and more people just wanna be lazy. They love the couch. The pandemic fucked everybody up. They just want to stay home, order shit off Amazon and Uber Eats and shit and Instacart.
It's crazy to say this, but it's so much money in like podcasting world. If you're one of the big podcasters, that I feel like an NBA player. Like that's on my last leg of my deal. The season's up. I'm about to negotiate, and it's unbelievable. Like I would have never in a million years think that you can make this type of money.
That's what I'm starting
down and talking about whatever you want to talk about to whoever you want to talk about for however long. So when we're in the point right now of negotiating a new deal for next year,
for 3 years,
you got to understand. When we go and we say, okay, my Instagram has 4 million followers. His Instagram has 2.8 million followers. Our $1 million worth of game Instagram has 1.3 million followers.
TikTok.
Our TikTok has 1 something million followers.
YouTube 1.7.
YouTube subscribers is at 1.7 million. My backup page is at 600,000. His backup page is at 300.
I got like, and then I got the other YouTube with like 170,000 on there.
So when we going in to negotiate, we're saying, okay, just per month on my Instagram, I get 100 million impressions. That's 0 ads. More. Okay, over here, for the year, we got 550 million views.
Oh yeah.
Okay, over here on TikTok. So now it's like, we have a network. And it's like, okay, these guys hit them from so many different angles. It's like, and who doesn't want the eyes? That's what they want. He said the eyes bring you the money. That's all they want. They want their brand to be seen by our community of people that follow us and believe in us and what we selling and what we tell them. So,
you know, a lot of people say, damn, they depressed. You hear a lot of people say, this shit we never heard of in a million years. Now, I'm gonna just say this. I know everybody growing up is different. I grew up in the motherfucking ghetto where it's though if you'll hold the refrigerator door open too long, your mom, what the fuck you got my refrigerator door open for? Like, Mom, I just was ready to get something. No, it's too late. Get your ass in the bed. Refrigerator had a fucking curfew in the ghetto. Just being straight up. Fucking had a curfew. You know what I mean? You had a door. So we didn't know nothing about, and I'm not saying you don't have different type of, but we didn't know nothing about the shit that people say today. Oh, I got this, I'm stressed, I'm depressed. Because you're watching too many lives wishing it was yours. Not because you're really fucking depressed. Your life is really great. Because the life you live is somebody's dream life. It's somebody would dream to have your fucking life in this world. If you think about the world, there's 8 billion people on this planet, right? So if you say this, look, watch this. There's 8 billion people on this planet, and I'm gonna tell you some shit that's deep. And this is why you always gotta do your research. All that shit. But it's a lot of people.
Yeah, prison education, excuse me.
But it's a lot of people, right? So when you look at it, right, I'm gonna show y'all some shit, right?
You like that?
So when you look at it, it's like.
You said that already.
No, I'm trying to get this number up here. Here it is, close this. World meters is real time. You see that number? That's how many people on the planet, 8.2 billion. Okay. You see that number right there? Right here, hold up. 43 million, you see that? That's how many people was born this year. 264,000, that's how many people was born today. 20 million, that's how many people died this year. 124,000 people died today. You didn't. You didn't. You ain't on the list. And the list goes on. You know, everything on World Meters tell you about, you know, population, tell you about public health care, car produced this year, bicycles produced, computers produced, new book titles, World Meters. But what I'm saying to say is, a lot of us be looking on here too much, and we be forgetting that we fucking breathing. That we can order some shit on Uber Eats. No, straight up, that we could just go and cut the TV, that we could have an 80-inch TV that costs $400 fucking from Walmart. That shit was impossible back in the day. Shit, you had to get a box and put it around the TV to make you think you got a big TV. And you had to, it was different. So I think a lot of times when you study shit, you see that how good you got it. Once you see how good you got it and you put this down, you can strategize on and say to yourself, okay, where do I want to be when I'm 35? Anything that you want to do by the time you get 35, once you get out of here, if you map that blueprint the fuck out and you say, okay, I'm gonna limit this, of course you're gonna get smashed, you're gonna have some brewskis, you're gonna do some partying, all that type of shit. You're gonna have some parties. But how do you say, let me manage my life so when I'm 35, I'm set? Because back in the day, people worked until they was fucking 60 years old. I know y'all not playing in that shit. Y'all not trying to work till y'all 25 these days. Fuck you talking about. So you gotta be able to say in real life, time in life, how do I retire early? How do I be able to say I'm comfortable? Because think about this shit. A lot of people that you see that's successful, they get to a point where they get boring because they maxed out on life because they did everything. It really don't cost nothing to get a passport. Flights don't cost nothing. You could go online right now and find a great flight to Bali. You could, in a 36-month time, you could travel around the world and be done. Every place you ever fucking wanted to be at. So you gotta space this shit out so you can say, okay, by the time I'm 35, you really done a lot. You're gonna be traveling, you're gonna be making money, you're gonna buy all the shit that you thought you wanted that's gonna erase the vacancies of the upbringing of your childhood, everything that you wanted to be. You probably wasn't cool in college, you probably wasn't this and there, and a high school, whatever. You're gonna be able to fulfill all that shit. And then you're gonna realize, damn, I thought I wanted this, and that shit still ain't do nothing. It ain't changed nothing. That's when you're gonna be fucked up, when you realize, damn, I got all the stuff I wanted, and it still ain't removed all the trauma of my upbringing, all the shit that I went through. Because everybody tell you that all this shit gonna happen, but that's not reality. So now you're gonna go through that, and then you're gonna be like, all right, I made it. Because I can do anything I wanna do. But it's about being able to put the work in that nobody wanna put in them certain years, because it been marketed to you that in your 20s you just supposed to fuck up life and party. Think about that shit. It was marketed to you. And then when you get in your 30s, you like, I got these bills, you don't move, you don't move as fast as you did. Then the 40s come around and you still trying to figure out life because you partied and did all this shit when in this day and time, you got a fucking bank account, you got a bank in your pocket. This shit money printer. You got a satellite in your fucking pocket where you can find out you can start a company. Listen, with this right here, you can shoot a movie, you can record an album, you can do art, you can start an app, all with this fucking thing right here. So you got to be able to say, how do I make it make sense? Or you want to be that person that's trying to figure out life at 40 and all your opportunities that came by, because now is a young you that's ready to get you the fuck out of the way. This shit like sports. You know, them older dudes don't like to see when them young bucks come in the locker room, and then they come in there, and then the team telling you, yeah, put him under your wing. So you telling me I got to teach him my job so y'all get me the fuck out of here? Because y'all paid me all this fucking money just because y'all liked me and I was good to the franchise? But in reality, y'all getting rid of me. So now I got to hit the retirement thing next year before y'all, so this all the shit. So y'all got to start looking at life at that and saying, how do I want to live my life? Who's going to be my partner? Because the wrong partner, the wrong friend will fuck your life up and will have you set back tremendously. You might be having your dreams, and sometimes if you're around the wrong influence and you're still impressionable, a person can suffocate your dreams because they ain't gonna have none. Why would I want you to fly if I ain't got no wings? And sometimes it be family, friends, and all that. And we be having one of the worst things that we do, we have these uncommunicated expectations of people. And relationship, friendships, family members, and then sometimes we be seeing shit in people that they never seen in their motherfucking life. But we be like, damn, you could do this, you could be this, you could, all that shit. Next thing you know, they're like, I don't want to do all that. I just want to drink some brewskis and live on my mom's couch. I want to be a couch warrior. Walk around in shorts and play the game all day. That's some people's life. But like, the choice is yours. Y'all got a lot of life ahead of y'all.
Well, a rapper,
yes.
music industry kind of
choose who spits you out.
Yes.
Now you have all power. Like, how do you adjust to that? Like, that changing
I mean,
power dynamic?
I look at it as though at that time, God probably was saving me. I probably shouldn't have been that young with a lot of money. I probably would have ended up somewhere else. So I thank God a lot of times for my journey and getting me to, I was a young kid that needed a lot of growing up, you know what I mean? So I'm glad it happened for me when it happened for me. And I'm not bitter, I'm not angry or anything, I'm just very appreciative.
When you guys interview someone, do you guys prepare a lot of questions for it? You kind of just have an organic, natural conversation?
Yeah, just organic.
Just be right off the top.
Like, we didn't even know what the class was on. I'm just
No.
saying, I need you to come speak at my class.
All right. Man, this like
we class about
weeks ago. Just planned it. You said we gonna come. Yeah. Raise your hand before I start pointing to people.
Going kind of off of that, like, what is your best advice for a podcast? I have a podcast, so I don't really know how to grow it.
All right, this is what you do. The best advice is look at all the podcasts out there that's winning and don't do nothing they doing.
Okay.
Right? And I'm talking about it to be simple. But I don't think nobody doing that. I think everybody is sitting there believing that the shit that they talking about is that interesting. And it's not. I'm just being straight up. There's too many fucking podcasts. You know? So if you want to do one, you want to do one about some shit that nobody even thinking about. You just reporting on podcast. So now they done everything for you. You ain't got to do shit. But just sit there, listen to an episode or find something that you like and be like, okay, let me just do a quick book report on this. And just 5 minutes. 5 minutes. You think about it, 45 minutes.
You can just be brutally honest.
Yep.
You know what I mean? You can't worry about people's feelings. So if if you don't like the podcast, you like, this wasn't for me. This just didn't do anything. It totally sucked. Then you get podcasts that start getting mad at you. That's when you know you're making a difference.
That's when you know your opinion matters.
Right.
Next.
What up?
Hey, Jake.
You needed to pivot.
I'm FaceTiming you real quick. I want you to say hi to some people, Jake, okay?
Yo, Wallo, what's up?
I'm at this class, right? It's for sports media at University of Colorado. And just say hi to everybody that I'm gonna introduce you.
Hi, everyone.
This is a good brother of mine, Jake O'Leary. He's the head of marketing on Instagram. This guy is amazing. And I called you for Coach Prime because somebody at Threads hit him up, and I'm gotta connect y'all to. You see what I'm saying?
What's going on,
nice to meet you. So to let y'all understand what I'll be doing. So Jake called me up to Meta about how long ago was that?
2 months ago.
And I came up there and just tore him a new asshole about everything that we don't like about social media or whatever. And they actually liked it. They was like, they're realistic people. But Jake, what advice you could give to them from a marketing standpoint and they're going into these sports media careers?
So let me ask you a question, Wallo. What sort of careers, just so I can put a little bit more meat on the bone?
Sports media.
Which part? There's so many parts.
Damn. Well, what can you do?
Journalism. Sports agent.
Sports agent, journalism, athlete, all type of
Social
stuff.
media influencer.
Social media.
Okay. All right. So there's never been a better time than right now, because you are sitting in the room with two people who have done it so well. You have the opportunity, whether you're representing a client, whether you're building your own business, whether you're breaking stories as a journalist, to get your message out right now. There's never been a better time to take creative chances in the content you make, in the stories you're trying to tell, and these platforms enable it to happen. But the biggest thing I see every day is people held back by their own fear. My grid needs to be perfect. It's not good enough yet. I'm not ready. My message to you would be do it anyway. Find the goodness happens when you take over the step to actually put it out into the world. When you release it from being your own. The story you've written, the launch of that person's career, moment, next chapter, all of the goodness comes when you put it out and you let it go from you've been cooking in the kitchen on it, and when you let it out and be on the world. You're gonna take some bricks, you're gonna get some hits. But there's never been a better time to build a world around any type of athlete, any type of club, franchises. I go back and forth between talking with really high-profile people on the platform, clubs, leagues, musical artists, graphical artists, everyone. And trying to be a student of it. If I could ever be helpful to this class, let me know. I'd be more than happy to spend some time. And really getting to know and understand how these platforms work, how your message resonates with the community, and you could really experience some wonderful things. It's different for everyone.
All right,
Wallo, was that helpful?
That was helpful. I'm gonna connect you to Prime and Bucky. You definitely gotta know Bucky. That's his son that shoot all that great content that you've been seeing for years. I gotta plug you with them, you know, and we gonna it's definitely helpful. And I'm gonna hook you up so maybe you can come, Prime. We can get you out here.
All right. Have a wonderful day.
Thank you, Jake. I'm gonna hit you up. So my whole thing is like Pfizer YouTube. I went over there and started a program called YouTube Avenues, where we went to 10 cities around the world, and we put 400 or 500 people in a room and educated them on how to start their YouTube, how to scale on YouTube, how to monetize their YouTube. Because a lot of people don't know. And the only reason I was able to go over there because I told the head of music over there, Leo Cohen, I was like, man, that shit, people be on YouTube too wordy. You watch the dude talking for 45 minutes, you don't know what the fuck he talking about. He too termy. We need regular people going and just teaching people, this how you do it. Because people just ain't got time in their everyday life. And it's an attention battle. So, you know, they get crazy. Any more questions? Come on, I know it's some more. Oh, hi.
Was there anybody that you guys looked up to, either young or starting your guys' business journey? If so, why or why not?
What you mean, young, when we was kids?
Like, yeah, growing up or later in life, like once you were starting to grow your business.
Oh, when I was young, you know, I'm going to tell you a secret. Like, I really wanted to be Michael Jackson, right? Shit ain't turned out that way, you know what I mean? I wanted to be
Michael Jackson
I had his jacket. I had this Michael Jackson jacket. Man, I slept in that motherfucker. I ain't never take it off. I know that joint stink. It was so stiff. My mom used to take it off me to get in the shower with that jacket. I thought I was Mike. I was just like, damn, I thought I could be Mike. And it was like, that shit ain't turned out. My dance moves, I didn't know as many dance moves as him. He wanted to be Michael Jordan. He just ain't have a tight. He was too short. Shit. You know, but
I did.
Yeah, he did. Any other questions? Go ahead.
You were in prison for 20 years. What's the one thing that set you on the path to be the person you are today once you got out?
Man, I was scared as shit in jail, man. I didn't know what the fuck was gonna happen. That shit to scare you. Had you like, oh shit, I don't want to come back here. My ass was on the line. You know what I mean? So it was like, I was like, fuck that. I'm not coming back. So that'll set you right, you know, when you see some crazy shit going on, you know what I mean? And I was just like, fuck that, this not happening no more. And it was just, it'll set you right quick, you know what I mean? You'll be like, nah, I don't want to have my ass on the menu no more. Like, you know what I mean? Because you don't know, you don't even know. You go to prison and it's like, hold up. You go to the chow hall, you're like, I didn't know my ass was on the menu. These guys, y'all know some shit I don't know. I got left out of, so you know, you get crazy. You get crazy.
I'm curious to know, what was your strategy or idea when creating your business and businesses?
Oh, we just didn't, me and him we just didn't give a fuck. I'm gonna be straight up. Like, it wasn't about no structure. Me and him would do some shit not knowing what we doing, and we'll figure out what we doing in the process of doing it. That's how you do it. Because you got these people out here, they super strategists. Oh, I had the plan, I had to make the you had 15 Zooms and did all.
You didn't put no work in.
You ain't do shit. You planned all this and you scared. Like you see what he said, you scared to take it off paper. So our whole thing is always like, if we think of some shit, we doing that shit tomorrow.
Well, I'm telling him I met you.
Oh, me and Prime met, when we first connected, I DM'd him. Because he used to always DM us, because he loved our stuff. So I DM him, I say, listen, Prime, I got a show, right? I had this show called Where's Wallo. I was shooting it with a tripod in my phone on YouTube, right? So I said, I need to interview. He said, all right, cool, meet me down in the Super. So I'm at the Super Bowl in Atlanta. We meet up in the hotel early in the morning. I'm in there like an hour early waiting for him, right? And he just walk in. I put my tripod up, and I just shot an episode, and that's how we connected. And at that time, he was telling me about coaching back then. What year was that, when the Super Bowl was in Atlanta? That was a long time ago. So,
just think he started with that phone. He shot Coach Prime on that phone. Now, just us personally, we own 17 cameras.
Big joints.
We could shoot Star Wars if we wanted. You know what I'm saying? So that was the journey of how far he came. He wasn't intimidated by, oh my God, this Deion Sanders, man, I gotta film this shit on my phone. No, he was like, that's the camera, coach. All right, cool.
And you don't care.
You know, and this is Coach Prime, who's used to the big cameras. But that's the confidence that he had. That's how much he wanted it, and he put the work in.
Like, you gotta think about this. You gotta look at a person like this. This is important. I always highlight it. You gotta look at a person like Bucky, right? Bucky took an iPhone, figured out how to zoom in, zoom out, started a whole media company in Jackson State, just shooting like, I'm talking about getting an unbelievable, I don't know how he was doing it with just one phone, it was just him. He get unbelievable, he never missed the big plays, the big moments. He all over the field, the whole fucking game with a phone like this. And I said, Bucky, man, I said, you gotta, I think he was talking about, yo, man, I said, people want to see that shit, Bucky. He wound up starting his YouTube. Next thing you know, he was getting, man, he hit me up one time. He said, you ain't gonna believe this shit, how much money I made this month. He made like $150,000 in 1 month, a YouTube check. I'm like, damn. And then next thing you know, he called me.
He was getting money.
Next thing you know,
y'all need something?
He called me. Then he called me and said, yo, I need my plaque. I said, well, he said, I got 100,000. I said, damn, that quick? So I made sure from YouTube, made sure he got his plaque. But it was just the consistency of it. And then now he got a team of people with him. But he believed in that shit so much that he just took his phone out. He could have been standing there like this, cheering with everybody else. He took his phone out and started some shit that he didn't even know what he was doing. Now, I don't care what university you go to on the planet, ain't nobody content better than his. Where do you see it at? Nobody content better than his. And people went to school for it, but it gotta be in here. Sometimes it gotta be inside of you, man. And he just had the passion to grow. And every time you see him, he got a new kit on his camera. He keep adding shit to his camera like it's a muscle car and shit. He got a fire extinguisher on there just in case he get hot, a fan, all that. But what I'm saying is, he didn't care. The problem is, the pressure of opinions is crazy. Fuck what they think. And you gotta understand, haters is your marketing team. Let them fucking work. Prime example. Somebody hate on, say we do some shit. Somebody be like, these guys are idiots. They might send it to 15 of their friends, talking about it. You know how many of their friends gonna see them like, yo, these fucking guys are funny. Haters introduce you to fans that didn't know about you. That's why a lot of times you just gotta shut the fuck up and let them go, because they're your staff for no reason. They telling it, when you got some good shit going on, you got all these people telling everybody about you, and they like, I don't see what you see. But thanks for introducing me to them. Thanks for, it's just like recommendations. Like, you get recommended off the shit that you watch, of what you into. You know how you go watch YouTube, if you watching videos on animals chasing animals, a bunch of them gonna keep popping up. You know, so it's like, you gotta be thankful for the people that talk about you, and understand this. When people talk shit about you, and this is why you can't really hold on to people's opinions, or they don't like you, or whatever goes on, I need you to just take your time and wait till the beginning of the month. And then at the beginning of the month, you realize, fuck them, they don't pay my bills. I still gotta pay these bills. I'm still responsible for this shit. My life is not gonna change based off of you not liking me, or based off of you trying to tear me down because you got insecurities and you got a lot of shit going on in your life. So you gotta be able to be so locked in on your life. You cannot be a winner out here if you give a fuck about the noise, because it's gonna be noise. Anywhere anybody ever did something great in the history of life, Michael Jordan, it was noise. Michael Jackson, it was noise. It's always supposed to be noise when you're doing some great shit. If it ain't no noise, They're all hard to, there's noise. It's just noise. So you got to be able to embrace the noise and love the noise, because the noise is what makes you stronger.
I know people that, like, family, friends, they go to prison for like a year, and that like just fucks them up for the rest of their life.
Yeah.
You went in for 20 years, you came out, and you dominated the job. You talked about people got this job for 50 years for no reason.
Yeah. I'm going to tell you some shit that a lot of people might don't tell you. I think everybody got different cultures. When you grow up and you black in America, and you growing up in the inner cities of America, the shit that you encounter and the survival skills that you encounter when you 5 to 10 is some shit that the average adult never even seen in their life. So it's this resilience and it's this preparation that's preparing you for a world where you might go places where as though you might not be accepted, or you might not have an equal hand. But it's something that got to be, that you're taught on that journey of survival, that had you built for tough for anything. And it prepare you for dark moments, because at a young age you just keep seeing dark moments. And that's what happened. So about time, you know, I had the penitentiary. I already been in juvenile facilities a bunch of times. I was already institutionalized because I've been in the system. I spent more time incarcerated on this planet than I did free. I did 5, first got locked up June 30th, 1990. I was 11 for a couple days for armed robbery in Philadelphia. And then I kept getting locked up, so I wound up spending 5 years in a juvenile facility. And when I turned 17, I got locked up for 2 armed robberies, 2 firearm violations, and I got 19 and a half to 52 years. They certified me as adult. They said, you've been doing enough crime. We're gonna make you adult even though you're not, and we're gonna send you to the penitentiary. So it's something that, it's this skin, and the only people that can identify with the skin is people that go through some shit. So, you know, it put me in the form where as though, and I'm a very accountable person. I'm not coming out here blaming, I know what I did. Be accountable for and be responsible for the things that I did in America to get me in prison, and say, okay, I'm gonna turn it up. I'm gonna figure this shit out. And that's how you go through this shit. Because one thing about this shit, we gotta get out of here one day, we gotta die. I'm not doing no bitching while I'm here. I'm gonna do some bitches in the grave. When I'm dead, I might be crying, oh, why had to go, oh shit. But while I'm here now, I'm gonna live it up. And that's what I did. I came back out here and I lived it up, you know?
That all that being said, he missed a lot of family cookouts.
Yeah. Yeah. I made up for it.
People say, God, I've never done some of the things that they've done, but I've known the guys that have done it, and his family members. And back in the day, those guys would have looked out for me because they recognized I had a tremendous gift. And I would hang with them all the time, but they would not let me engage in what they did. So a lot of the stuff that would normally break people don't break us because we've seen it. We've been through it. We've seen murders. We've seen people get killed. We've seen family members gone, like in a drop of a hat. We've seen a lot of stuff, which separates us from a lot of people in life. So those things that would normally break a coach, break a man, it don't faze us because we built for this stuff. And God allowed us to see it and go through it, to be in front of you, talking to you about it. But the same effect that it would have on another coach, it don't have that on him. It don't have that on him. It don't have that on him. And that's why you got to be careful of judging people, because you never know. If you'd have just heard a guy did 20 years and he come and talk to your class, you know he's diseducated. You know he was this funny. You didn't know that's this strategic. You know they're thinkers or whatever. Because I told you about it last week, a couple weeks ago. You didn't really do your homework. I told you who they were. You still didn't do your homework. You didn't Google them. He just bringing some dudes there. But these dudes have the propensity to change your life. Apple could hire you and they could hire you. They're going to pay you the same. You're going to get more hands-on with them than Apple.
And we're going to give you more exposure to people that won, you know, in life. Like this guy used to run YouTube. Now he's running the head of marketing for Instagram. People, you see Can you write it on the phone?
I was just in LA yesterday, and I stopped by when I got landed. I had to get a haircut, so I called Dog, and I went by the studio to get a haircut. So I'm in there talking to Snoop yesterday about y'all, and he's like, "Dog, I got to figure out when I get down there. I got to figure out when I can get to him. But what I'm gonna talk about?" I say, "Dog, do you understand who you are? You can talk about anything you want to talk about." But we're having conversations with people that could just change your life, just like that. Instead of you waiting, I want you to graduate, I want you to get your degrees, I want you to do all that. But I want you to have something ready for you before that time and after that time. And we're trying to introduce you to the type of people that can do that. These guys will throw you on the plane tonight and change your life. Am I right or wrong?
Yeah, pay you $100,000 real. Like it ain't nothing.
And don't miss it.
Hey, you move to the whole other side of the country, but it's like, you know, that's why you can't never judge a book by its cover.
No.
You understand? We talking about Snoop Dogg. Snoop Dogg was on trial for murder. Snoop Dogg is a Crip from a gang in California. But Snoop Dogg is doing commercials with Martha Stewart. There's no rules now. What I'm saying is, it ain't never too late to be great, and you can't let your worst moment in life define you. That's just a moment. Organized. I started my shit in the cell. He started, and I just did it. And like, the people that win the most, like Jake said, you gotta just do that shit, man. You hear just do it so much, and it's like easier said than done to some people. But people will sit there and be planning for 5 fucking years. And strategy, oh, I got a strategy, I'm doing this, carrying all the books around, all this shit. It's like, bro, you could have been, you know how good you would have been at shooting music videos by now? If you just started shooting with your phone and figure out the editing software, you go watch a YouTube, you go to YouTube University. You know how many people became millionaires from YouTube University and that shit free? So I just think you just gotta just do it.
Annoyed by DMs, like how do we?
No, you gotta
how do you reach out?
no, listen, DMs, definitely DMs, definitely personal assistants and shit. Them the people, because you just gotta bring value. See, value get value to value. You know what I mean? If you bring value, it's like, man, people be open to shit, especially when you trying to come and you trying to like really grow with somebody. Like, listen, I'm trying to grow, this is what I could do for you. Because when I say the hoes, it be people out here that don't even know they need a personal assistant. They don't even know that they manager need a person. They just need somebody for social media. They think they got to figure it out when it's like, no, you're doing this wrong. You know how some artists, people need to take their phone away from them. They don't even know what the fuck they doing. They be doing dumb shit. Responding to everything, arguing with people. So, you know, I just think you just got to be consistent. And you got to know what you, like, you got to be ready for that moment no matter where it's at. Like, even here, you know what I mean? Celebrities come the fuck here to see the game that probably need help. You just got to study people and just, you know, be able to see what they need. Like, you should be able to look at somebody's page real quick and say, oh yeah, they need this, they ain't got this not going on, they ain't got no links to book them for an event or speaking engagement, whatever. So, you know, all that type of stuff.
This is kind of off topic, but I have this for Coach Prime as for why I should be able to work with him. And if you guys give me like a week, I'll have one for you guys too.
Come on,
I have 2 of these if you guys want to look at stuff that I have. Can I?
I'm gonna give this right to him.
Yeah.
She came prepared.
I did. I've been working on this for like a month now.
She gave me your friendship.
I have another one, I just not in a fancy
I told him about the whole
I know.
class.
Damn.